Yo, what's good? Top of the top, episode 233, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute. And there's just an episode, some topics you may want to hear about. Salute to you as well. Podcasts available on all podcast streaming platforms. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Go out, subscribe, leave comments, reviews. Put your people on. All greatly, greatly appreciated. Hope everyone had a safe week, safe weekend. Continue to do the same this upcoming week. This week episode, going back into the sports world. A lot of stuff to talk about in the sports world, so we're going to start with college football. Last week, we had the first college football playoff rankings come out. I am recording this before the new rankings come out, but last week, my Ohio State Buckeyes, we came in at number 1. I was definitely surprised. I thought we'll be number 3 or number 4. I definitely had Georgia at number 1 and Michigan at number 2, just off the sole purpose of Georgia, 2-time champions coming for a three-peat. Michigan has had the edge over Ohio State within the past couple of years. But just for me, watching Ohio State football on a weekly basis, I was like, well, maybe they're going by resume. Because obviously the game against Notre Dame early this season, that was a big win. The big win over Maryland, who probably should have been ranked at the time. Win over Penn State. So we had the resume, but it's just watching the on-field, the offense. Our defense, like I say, spectacular, but our offense, a lot of question mark left with Kyle McCord, Ryan Day, Heartline play calling, but it is what it is. It is what it is. We had the number 1 spot. We are now the hunted instead of the hunters. You know, that's my favorite philosophy when it comes to sports. So we'll see how the season play out. This weekend, we have Michigan State. Don't want to jinx the team, but I feel like it's going to be an easy W. Travion Henderson, past 2 games, 100 yards rushing, couple touchdowns as well. Marvin Harrison still finding the end zone. Defense, once again, I can't say it enough, playing spectacular right now. But main question mark, I sound like a broken record. Kyle McCord, Ryan Day play calling. That's the main focus with Ohio State right now. But all we got to do is win out. We know all we have to do is win out. Of course, we got the big game against Michigan later this month. Win out, win the Big Ten Conference. We in great position in terms of playoffs. So we'll see how it goes. Sticking with the rest of the top 10, Georgia, they in great position. They looking to three-peat right now. All they have to do is win out. They have Ole Miss this upcoming weekend. Of course, you know Lane Kiffin is trying to spoil those hopes. So Georgia, they look at the three-peat. First time ever, has to be. If not first time ever, in a long time in college football, a team has three-peated. So Georgia is looking to make some history. A lot of eyes, number 3, Michigan. A lot of eyes has been on Michigan the entire season. I don't know what has happened behind the scenes, what Harbaugh has done, who he done pissed off. Because, you know, for the first, 3 games of the season, he was suspended. And now they have this whole sign-stealing thing going on. Of course, I'm paying attention to it because, of course, we play them later on this month. But if anything were to happen with Michigan in terms of any violations or suspensions or voiding victories or something like that, it'll take place, I think, at the end of the season. I don't think they're going to come out before the Ohio State game and say, yeah, we voiding all y'all games this season, whoop-de-whoop. I don't think that's going to happen. If anything's going to happen with Michigan, it will take place at the end of this season, and we'll see how severe it is. For what I've been seeing on television, you got some people saying, well, I understand it being wrong, but at the same time, it's scouting. There's a lot of things going on with this Michigan story with the sign stealing. We'll see how it play out. But, of course, Ohio State, Michigan, both teams on a crash course to Thanksgiving weekend, a huge rivalry game. Michigan has got the last 2 up on us, so, of course, we're looking forward to that game. Number 4, Florida State, they just have to win out. Florida State has to win out. If they stay at the number 4 position, I believe it's going to come down to if Florida loses one game, they lose one game, they might be out of playoff implications. But Florida State, their goal is simple, just win out easily. Number 5 and 6, Washington, Oregon. Pac-12 is crazy. So much news going on with the Pac-12 this season, knowing that this their last year and they're about to disperse. But Washington, Oregon, Washington just got to win out. They got the victory over Oregon earlier this season as well. So Washington has to win out, and Oregon has to find a way to jump Washington. We'll see how it goes. Number 7, Texas. Of course, they had the big win over Alabama early in the season. They had the loss against Oklahoma, though. But Texas, like I said, just went out. Just went out, and you can probably find yourself in the playoff position. But that win against Alabama is a great, great look on their resume. Speaking of Alabama, coming in at number 8, their goal is simple. Win out the regular season, get to the SEC championship, probably face Georgia, beat Georgia, you're probably in. You probably can jump. Well, Texas is going to be tough because you lost against Texas, but you might can jump Oregon and Washington if you beat Georgia. And I'm sure if you beat Georgia, depending on where they're ranking at, Georgia may still be in the top 4. So Alabama find themselves in this position a lot throughout the years, to where they'll lose a game early in the season, but they know that all they have to do is win out, beat Georgia in the conference championship. They'll find their way back in, or have some other teams take some loss and just climb up back into the rankings. So Alabama, they've been here before. They know what they have to do. Oklahoma, I really don't see them making the move. They in the mix, but I don't see them jumping into the top 4 in no time soon. Ole Miss, if they can beat Georgia this weekend, that'll be a great look for them. Penn State at number 11, they beat Michigan this weekend. That'll be a great look for them as well. So this last month of the college football regular season, a lot of questions still left to be answered. A lot of teams know, hey, all we have to do is win out. My Ohio State Buckeyes, we know all we have to do is win out. We in great position. Georgia in a historical position right now, trying to three-peat. That's spectacular. Michigan, a lot of things going on in the Michigan world. We'll see how it play out. Florida State just have to win out. Alabama just have to win out. Texas, Oregon, Washington, looking to see how their season play out as well. A lot of things left to be answered just within the next 3 weeks of the college football regular season. Sticking with the football world, going into the NFL season, we at the halfway mark of the NFL season. At the time I'm recording, the Chiefs-Dolphins game is going on overseas right now. Later on today, we have the Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys matchup. And within all that, you have teams just in the midst. You got the Cincinnati Bengals catching a stride right now. See how they play out. You got Jacksonville, Baltimore flying under the radar as well. Detroit Lions, easily for me, the breakout team of the year. And it doesn't hurt that I have a few players on my fantasy teams. I have the running back Gibbs, I have the defense, and I have their kicker. So I've been keeping up with Detroit a lot this season just because I'm attached to them in fantasy football. Seattle, Dallas, like I said, Dallas played Philadelphia. This is a huge game for both of them because, yes, Philly has the best record in the league right now, but they don't look like the Philadelphia team from last year that made the Super Bowl. So it's odd. It's like, yeah, they got the record, but on field, they're not as dominant as they was last season. So a lot of things left to be answered in the NFL. Like I said, a lot of teams right now at that 5-3, 4-3 position. Really no breakout team to where you like, okay, when it comes playoff time, outside of maybe the Chiefs, you got to go with a team that's shown improved. It doesn't matter how the regular season look. When the playoff get here, you can trust this team to make something happen. And you really can't go against the Chiefs right now. Like I said, they playing the Dolphins right now overseas. The Dolphins looking like a threat in the AFC. Of course, like I said, the Bengals catching a stride right now. Buffalo, even though I've jumped off the bandwagon in terms of playoff Buffalo Bills, you still got to count them as well. Can Trevor Lawrence, Jacksonville, can they make a run? Who knows? But I'm tuned in. And now the NBA in-season tournament. It started off Friday. We had a few games take place. Now, the first thing I want to talk about with the NBA in-season tournament, because last time I talked about this, I wasn't deep into details. But first thing that came to my mind, the court designs they have. I'm not mad at the court designs. The only thing I'll probably change about the in-season court designs, I wouldn't have the entire court splattered with either red or blue or something. Just have the middle lane part as the team color or secondary color and have the rest of the court is regular court color. That's my only thing because sometimes it seems to be a little bit too much. Like Chicago Bulls court, it was a little bit too much for me. I was like, okay, I get it, but You could just have the middle lane as the team color, and I'll be cool with that. But the thing about that is they're looking for TV deals. Of course, you have the whole court splattered in a certain color. People on Twitter and Instagram are going to talk about it, so you're getting that fan engagement that you wanted from the beginning. It's the whole purpose of the in-season tournament, to have people engage with the NBA while football season is still going on. So I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it overall, and it's separating itself from the regular season. It's showing, yeah, these games count toward the regular season, but this is not regular season basketball. It's like, oh, you flipping like, oh, why this court this color? Oh, it's the in-season tournament. So, and who knows, with TV deals and all that in negotiations, maybe they try to get the in-season tournament exclusively on one network or a couple networks. So who knows how it goes. So we'll see how it play out. But I do want to somewhat try to explain this group play and knockout round scenario. So you have a group of 6, 3 groups, each conference, East and West. 8 teams will advance. You'll play a total of 4 group play games. The 6 teams with the best records will advance. Then you got 2 wild card spots. And the wild card spots, I really don't understand this scenario, but it's the team from each conference with the best group play records but finish second in the group. So we'll see how that play out. It's like I'm trying to figure out, how do you have the best group play record but you still didn't win the group? So that kind of confused. And, of course, the next rounds will be one and done like it is in college basketball. You got the Final Four, and the championship will take place in Las Vegas. So that's the best detail I can give. I didn't want to make it too scientific, but you got group of 6, 8 teams advance, the 6 teams with the best records, and you got 2 wild card spots. Then after that, one and done, Final Four, championship in Vegas. Group A for the East, Pacers, Cavs, 76ers, Hawks, and Pistons. Group B from the East, the Heat, Bucks, Knicks, Wizards, and Hornets. Group C from the East, you got the Nets, the Bulls, Celtics, Raptors, and Magics. Group A from the West, you got Portland, Grizzlies, Suns, Lakers, Jazz. Group B from the West, you got the Nuggets, Mavs, Clippers, Pelicans, Rockets. Group C from the West, you got Warriors, Thunders, Kings, Timberwolves, and the Spurs. Now, obviously, if I had to make predictions, because I feel like this scenario is about the team that kept the most people from last year and the team that can just get hot at any given moment. So outside of the obvious, obviously I want the Lakers to win. Just that'd be a great morality win throughout the season for us. But Denver Nuggets it's hard to go against the Denver Nuggets right now. They're looking like they're on a mission to double the repeat, so you got to keep that in consideration. The Warriors are a great threat as well. I like the Cavs, even though some people haven't been playing, Garland and all those guys. We'll see how it play out, but I still like the Cavs moving forward for the rest of the season in terms of the East, but we'll see how it goes. The Bucks with Damian Lillard, Giannis, Middleton, it's hard to go against that group, even though they have games here and there, but we know how that goes early on in the season. The Mavs with Kyrie and Luka. I'm not mad at the Spurs with Wembanyama. I like Wembanyama. So far from what I've seen, that kid is a true talent. I was sleep on him because we've seen this before. Oh, the Nets guy get drafted, the Nets, him. You know what I'm saying? We've seen this before. They say it every year. I don't know why they act like it's the first time they hype up a draft pick. They did it with Zion. They're going to do it. Like, I don't know why they act like they don't do it, but you know how the game goes. The Clippers has picked up James Harden, and everybody had the same reaction, like nobody is scared of this team. I would be more intrigued with that team if I knew Kawhi Leonard was engaged. I don't know if Kawhi Leonard's that engaged. I said it last whenever I talked about the NBA season. I was like, Kawhi Leonard has to be engaged for the Clippers to have any type of threat to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just tell me Paul George, Westbrook, and James Harden, that's scaring nobody. I understand they're great players. I'm not saying they're not great. They players, they know the game. I understand that. But I'm just speaking on going up against Denver, even a Lakers team. You know what I'm saying? So James Harden, man, this your 4 years, something like that. Come on, man. And I talked about it last year. When it comes playoff time, we know who can disappear. And James Harden's at the top of that list. So, yeah, but who knows? Who knows? The Clipper might's turning on in this end season, but I doubt it. I honestly doubt it. Miami Heat, it's just a lot of teams I'm looking forward to seeing with this in-season tournament. I'm not going to joke. It's a lot of things I'm looking forward to. Like I said, you got the football season about to go to the great last stretch that it's about to go into, combined with the in-season tournament. I'm excited for what's going on in the world of sports right now. The world of wrestling, we got the Survivor Series. We had the Crown Jewel event over the weekend. A lot of stuff to look forward to in this month of November. So this has been episode 233, Stash House Podcast. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Go out. Have a great work week, great school week. Stay warm. Make sure y'all check them temperatures before y'all leave out. Keep me in your prayers. I'll do the same for y'all. Salute.